Guys, please check your audio and video settings, please, guys. Yeah. Yesterday I was talking about what, guys? Spring 2.x data source priority algorithm is what? First priority to Icarus CP, next to Tomcat CP, third to Apache DB CP2, fourth to Oracle UCP, right? Now, if you want to break that algorithm and you want to work with what? Your choice data source directly, then you have to mention that data source class name. Then you have to specify that data source class name in what property? Spring dot data source dot type property. Got it, guys? But can we mention every data source class name? No. You can mention only one of these 4 data source class names, guys. Okay. Okay. Next one. How can we make our Spring Boot application working with other than those 4 data sources? Other than those 4 data sources. Are you listening my statement, guys? Other than those 4 data sources. Or how can we use C3P0, Proxul, Vibur kind of connection pools, guys? Answer number 1, configure related data source class as a Spring Bean using @bean method. @bean method. Number 1, added that jar, guys, in pom.xml. Next. Okay, we have configured relevant data source class using @bean method in the main class. Okay, guys. You here hard-coded JDBC properties are hard-coded, guys. If you don't want to hard code, you can get from application.properties. You can get them from application.properties. Okay, when you decided not to hard code this one. This is answer number 1. Answer number 2. Answer number 2. Disable or exclude data source from auto configuration activity. See, guys, disable or exclude data source from auto configuration activity. Auto configuration activity and configure C3P0 related data source as a Spring Bean using @bean method. Using @bean method. Array, at the end, @bean method is ultimate solution, guys. But okay, now listen carefully, my dear. Listen carefully what I'm going to do now. Yeah, in Spring Boot application, we have an option called exclude. What is there, guys? Exclude is there, right now, boss? Exclude. You can mention the class names. Yeah. Data source auto configuration dot class. Okay. Data source auto configuration dot class. Open floor bracket, guys. Next. JDBC template auto configuration dot class. Like this, you can mention list of classes here, guys. Are you listening, my dear? This is very interesting part. I hope you noticed that, right? Okay. Yeah, those who missed yesterday's class, guys, for them, this is the backup session. Those who missed yesterday's backup class, this is the video, guys. Okay, now come back, guys. This is very interesting. If you don't see, 10 beans are participating in auto configuration. You don't want to see certain things not participating in what? Auto configuration. We can specify them there. We can specify them there. We can remove, we can exclude participating from auto configuration. We can mention there what? Configuration classes, guys. These are configuration classes now, boss. In data source auto configuration only. Yeah, there are entries. There are entries to configure what, guys? There are entries to configure Hikari, Tomcat CP, DBCP to Oracle OCP, and this kind of data sources as Spring Beans are not. In JDBC template auto configuration only. Okay. JDBC template auto configuration only. There is possibilities of what? There is a possibility of making JDBC template class object as what? Spring Bean. Okay. So you don't want to see them because we are not using them. Come on. So then we can think about this option now, boss. Super. Okay. Yeah, this is the first one, guys. This is the first one. Right, boss. These configuration classes, will not participate. No, it's not resolving the ambiguity problem, Babu. It is making certain classes not participating in the auto configuration. That's it. See, you decided to use C3P0, anyhow you configure explicitly. Then automatically configured Hikari data source class object is wasted, na? When wasted, why it should get through auto configuration? Stop that. Stop that, guys. Sham Kumar, my screen is shared. Everything is perfect. Check your side. Okay, these configuration classes. Okay. These configuration classes. No, see, we are not disabling any jars in the pom.xml. Those jars are there. See, guys, that jar is giving 10 classes through auto configuration, but you are not interested. You are not interested to see only 2 classes participating in what? Auto configuration out of 10 classes. Then you will disable jar files. Use common sense, Naina. Please bring your common sense. Got it? What I'm trying to deliver, are you able to feel it? These configuration classes will not participate in auto configuration activity when the enable auto configuration annotation performing its task. Performing its task. Everyone understood? Okay, this is step number 1, guys. Answer to step number 1. Step number 2, guys. Step number 2. Okay. Place @bean method in main okay, what is that? Configuration class or Spring Boot application class. All are one and the same, ra babu. Are you understanding my statement? Spring Boot application class. Okay. Spring Boot application class to make your choice third-party connection pool related data source class as the Spring Boot. A second step is purely same as this one, guys. Either you can hard code or you can collect from properties file. Either you can hard code or you can collect from properties file. Everyone understood? Sir, what's the difference between previous one and this one? Previous one, what happened? Hikari CP came, that is overridden with C3P0. This time Hikari CP has not come. Come on. Only directly C3P0 has come as the data source. Understanding my statement? Okay, in answer number 1, what happens? Hikari CP came through auto configuration. C3P0 is given explicitly. Explicit one is overriding auto configuration one, right? But second one, auto configuration one is not coming. Directly C3P0 is coming as the C3P0 related pool. C3P0 related data source is coming as a Spring Boot. Convinced, my dear? Got the clarity, guys? Understood? Okay, guys. Here, Hikari CP and C3P0 C3P0 related data sources have come as Spring Boot, but the @bean based C3P0 data source is overriding the Hikari CP data source configuration. The Hikari CP data source configuration is overriding the Hikari CP data source configuration. Are you comfortable, guys? configuration. What is this? Auto configuration. Okay. Array, by default, if no changes are done, only Hikari CP gets the higher priority, na? Okay. Here what happened? Note. Here, no auto configuration. No data source comes. No data source comes through auto configuration. Through auto configuration. Okay. That may. So only C3P0 related C3P0 related data source becomes Spring Bean because of @bean method. @bean method. Now let me exclude, guys. Exclude this, whether it is working or not. Whether it is working or not. Okay, let's go to our client application, guys. Let's run the application after exclude option. Okay. Yeah, tell me, guys, output is coming and it's still working with the C3P0. Still working with the C3P0. Come on. But any data source JDBC template participates in auto configuration? No, because we asked to exclude. We asked to exclude. Okay, now I will give proper statement. Don't be panic. Okay, I'll give proper statement, guys. Listen carefully. All these are depth discussions, Ra Babu. When should I go for auto configuration? Auto configuration exclude activity. When should I go for auto configuration exclude activity? Are you listening, my dear statement? My dear guys, auto configuration exclude activity. Answer number one. Answer number one. Okay. If the starter dependencies added to the class path is giving more Java classes as Spring Beans. But we want only few of them in our project. Then the rest. Okay, then the other classes then the other classes can be removed from auto configuration. Using what is that? Exclude attribute of @Spring Boot application. @Spring Boot application. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Here is the example. Where is the example, Rababu? Where is the example? Here is the example. This line is example or not? This line speaks about the exam. And this line. Right, boss? Yeah. Okay. Tell me. Spring Boot starter JDBC hyphen version dot jar gives multiple classes as Spring Beans through auto configuration. Auto configuration. The classes are, what is that, guys? Data source. Okay, first by default it is what? Hikari data source. If everything goes smoothly, that is Hikari data source, right? Tell me next. JDBC template. Named parameter. JDBC template. Next. Driver manager data source. Driver manager data source. And etc. And etc. Understanding my point? Okay. To remove certain classes of Spring Boot hyphen starter hyphen JDBC participating in auto configuration. Use what, guys? Use exclude option. What option, guys? Exclude option. Use exclude option. Clear, guys? Okay. Next. Okay. What is the JDBC connection pool that you have used in your project? Did I discuss this one yesterday? Did I talk this in your yesterday's, guys? This point is already covered or not covered? No, na? Okay. What is the JDBC connection pool that you have used in your project? Right, boss? Okay. What is the JDBC connection pool that you have used in your project, guys? Now listen carefully. Answer. If your project is standalone Spring or Spring Boot project. Okay, guys. If your project is Spring or Spring Boot project, then prefer third party JDBC connection pool like Hikari CP. Hikari CP or Apache DBCP2 and etc. But Hikari CP is the best because of performance, right? Okay, this is answer. If your project is web application, okay, web application or RESTful application, okay, in Spring or Spring Boot, RESTful application in Spring or Spring Boot, then prefer the underlying server managed. Yeah, small correction is there, guys. The underlying server managed JDBC connection pool. Got it, guys? The underlying server managed JDBC connection pool. Okay. Example, Tomcat managed JDBC connection pool. Okay. Next, Glassfish managed JDBC connection. Okay. JDBC connection pool and etc. Yeah, like anything. Okay. Note. Okay, note. From last. Okay, guys. Om Prakash, did you, Tomcat uses Hikari CPA. Who said that? No, yeah, that's not correct. Okay, Glassfish managed JDBC connection pool. Yeah, note, guys. Note, guys. Note, guys. Thread pool is different. Connection pool is different, madam. Please, madam. Okay. What is note, guys? Note is very important. Everyone, please put focus, guys. From last 5 to 6 years. Okay, 5 to 6 years. Okay, people are using, companies are preferring to use standalone connection pools, use third-party JDBC connection pools, even in the deployable web applications and RESTful applications. Are you with me, guys? Deployable web applications and RESTful applications. Okay, right. The following are the reasons. RESTful application. Okay, now tell me, guys, what are the limitations of server managed connection pools? Limitations of server managed connection pools. That means everywhere Hikari CP is good, ra Babu. Everywhere Hikari CP is good. Understanding my statement? Limitations of server managed connection pool. Okay. Specific to each web server. Specific to each web server or application server. Nice, na boss? In every server, connection pool creation is a separate process, right? Okay. In every server, the JDBC connection pool creation is a different process. Understanding my statement, guys? Is a different process. Okay, Surya Kumar Naik is confirming my statement. Check it out. Everyone, please look at the chat box. Surya Kumar Naik is confirming my statement. Is a different process. Okay, next. If the server of the application is changed to another server. If the server of the application is changed to other server, then configurations in our applications must be changed. Array server level changes will be there, application levels also changes will be there. Okay. If some servers don't support JDBC connection pools. Okay, we need to move to another high-end server only for JDBC connection pool support. Only for JDBC connection pool support. Comfortable, guys? Got it, guys? Understanding my statement? Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Is that clear? Is that clear, my dear? Got it? Limitations of server managed connection pool. Okay. Advantages with third party connection pools. Advantages with third party connection pools like Hikari CP. Hikari CP is market hit, Babu. Like Hikari CP. Next one can be used in both standalone applications, web applications, RESTful application. Even RESTful applications also some kind of web applications only, Babu. Next. Okay. Next one. Most of the third party JDBC connection pools and their data sources. Okay. Come to Spring Boot application through auto configuration process. Yes, na guys? Process. Convinced, my dear. Come on, next one. Though server of the application is changed. Though the server of the application is changed, we need not to do any configurations. Okay, we need not to change any configurations. We need not to change any configuration in the application. Comfortable, guys? Okay. Fine, boss. Yeah, how to work with the server managed connection pool, I'll show in web application. Today you don't break your head. Come on. Super, boss. Okay, now let's go for, with this auto configuration, data source related story is over, boss. Shall we get into the next level discussion? Yeah, this is another interesting one, guys. The pom.xml of file of Spring Boot project contains a okay Spring Boot starter parent project details. Every Spring Boot project contains one parent project. We'll import one parent project. You want to see that? Okay. First see this. Come to pom.xml, guys. Where is this? See, guys. This is parent project details. This is current project details. Spring Boot starter parent is the readily available starter which is there in Maven. It is readily available Spring Boot project which is there in Maven Central Repository, which is there in Maven Central Repository. How other starters are there, this starter also there. But this starter is not added as a dependency, is made as parent. That means whatever is there in parent will come to child automatically. Whatever information is there in the parent, that will come to child automatic. So that in the child, you need not to mention everything in detail. Because already parent is having some information, na boss, inheritance, ra babu. This is called Maven inheritance. This is called Maven inheritance. And based on this only, we are deciding superclass, subclass kind of story. Okay, Spring Boot starter project details. Okay, detail. That means parent project details. Parent starter details. Okay. Here, what concept is used, guys? Maven inheritance. Next, B. Current project details. What, guys? Current project details. This is my current project, guys. Next, C. Here is my Maven properties, guys. Maven properties. We have to mention some properties now, boss. Okay. Next, dependency. Dependencies section. Yeah, this is to add, guys. Main jars are starters. Yeah, this is my dependency management. Dependency management section. Okay. Okay. To specify the details of child jar files. Next, Maven or Gradle. Okay, Maven plugins. Some details will be there related to Maven plugins, boss. Some details will be there related to Maven plugins. See, parent project, current project, Maven properties. This is dependencies section where we add main jar files. Yeah, in this right now, dependency management section is not there, guys. But plugins are there now, boss. Plugins are there or not there? Plugins are there. Got it? Super. So these many details will be there in typical pom.xml file. The typical pom.xml file will contain these many details. Are you listening my statement? Put your questions in the chat box. Hari Vaibhav. Please put your questions in the chat box. Don't put your questions in question and answer section. I cannot focus on multiple places. Clear? Okay, boss. Plugin, plugin is different, na? Plugin is for creating WAR file. Plugin is for adding extra facilities. JAR is library. Okay, JAR is library. Understanding my statement? Okay, right. These are the backup classes videos, guys. Please collect. These are the videos of backup classes. This one. Yeah, let's come to our discussion. 7,000. The parent project or starter added to form.xml. What is that, guys? Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. Yeah. Performs the following three operations. What operations, guys? The following three operations. What are those three operations? Can you tell me, guys? Yeah. Uh, controls the tell me the controls the versions of other starters and child jar file, other starters, dependent comma, relevant jar files, nothing but libraries. Esa nona, guys, come on. Everyone understanding my point? Controls the versions of other starters and dependent or related jar files. Okay, now you observe. That's the first feature, guys. Second feature. Okay, adding or overriding. Okay, new properties. Okay, adding or overriding properties, guys. Adding or overriding properties. C. Maven plugins. Okay, supplies Maven plugins. These are the three activities it will do, Babu. So let's take one by one. Okay. Let's take one by one, guys. Controls the versions of other starter or dependents or related jar files, guys. Okay. Now you observe first practically. If you modify Spring Boot project version, suppose I have taken 2.6.0. Okay, first you observe the default 2.7.0. What are the jars we are getting? Which version of Spring jars we are getting? Tell me. Which version of Spring jars we are getting? Tell me, guys. 5.3, 5.3.2, 5.3.20, right? Spring Boot version is what? 2.7. Automatically this version is coming or not? Okay. Now listen. Now you have gone there. Open pom.xml. I changed this one to 2.6.0. Check it out, guys. Automatically all jars will change, guys. Even dependent jar versions will change. Dependent jar versions will change. See, 5.3.13 has come. 5.3.13 has come. 5.3.13 has come. Got it, guys? Everyone understood my statement? Okay, guys. Right, boss. Are we adding any jar? Are we adding any version in the starters that we have added, boss? No. Based on this version, the remaining versions are decided or not? Based on this version, the remaining versions are decided or not? Okay, this version is controlling everything, boss. This version is controlling everything. Got it? Okay. Super. What is this? This is parent, guys. Based on parent version, everything is decided. In pom.xml, the parent tag contains information about okay, Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent project that should be imported to current project. Current project as shown below. As shown below. Yeah, this is that information now, boss. Yes. Yeah, so many people ignores this discussion, guys, but this is very interesting. Please focus. Okay. Next. Okay. Please stop thinking here and there. Concentrate by changing. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. By change. If we change. Okay. If we change this parent project version automatically the other starters version and dependent Spring jar files version and relevant jar files version will be changed. Will be changed, having good compatibility among them. See, guys, otherwise what happened? I take different jars of different version. Compatibility may miss or not. That's why in single place they are getting compatibility. Having good compatibility. Having good compatibility. Everyone understood my statement, guys? Come on. Okay. So we need not to add. Okay, we need not to place version tag while adding other starters. To pom.xml. I hope you understood my statement, guys. Okay. pom.xml. This is very important, Babu. Please remember. Okay. No version tag. Are you noticing it? Here, is there any need of version tag, guys? No need of placing. We need not to. We need not to place. Okay, guys. Tell me, boss. No version tag is required here. For every project, this parent project will be there. Yeah. Otherwise, if parent project is not there, in pom.xml, I would have written 2000, 3000 lines of code. No version tag is required. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. You want to feel that? You want to feel that? First, let me open pom.xml of pom.xml of Spring Boot starter parent, guys. Pom.xml of Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. I want mvnrepository.com. Okay, their jar is there, but I'm looking for pom.xml. I think when you download, you will get pom.xml, Babu. When you download, you will get pom.xml. Okay. Super, guys. This is my pom.xml. Yes, we are ready with pom.xml. Right. When you click on pom.xml also, you will get it. This much bigger one. This much bigger one. Are you noticing it? These many properties are added. And in fact, it is having dependency with one more parent. It is having link with one more parent. Did you notice it? These many properties are there. These many plugins are there, right? So there is no need of you adding all these things manually, boss. Okay, you take this one, Spring Boot dependencies. You take this one, Spring Boot dependencies. Paste. Search. Spring Boot dependencies. There, boss. There. You try to open its pom.xml. Here no parent, here no parent. But see, how many properties are there? These many properties are there. Are you noticing, guys? Here we have versions. Here we have version. Here it is deciding the versions of every jar. Here it is deciding the versions of every jar. Okay, see, common spool version, it is deciding what to come. And Hikari CP version, it is deciding here. Here it is deciding everything. Everyone, are you bothered about adding these many things? All these are coming happily here or not? So many jars also coming. Did you notice it? So, sir, if you create a project without adding any dependency, any starters also, project is coming with some jars, how they are coming? How they are coming? Because of this parent information. Because of this parent information. Are you getting my point, guys? Okay. Yeah, what is there? Spring Boot dependencies. Next, Spring Boot starter parent. Next, our project. our Spring Boot project. This is the inheritance order or not? Okay. This is how inheritance, guys. Okay. This one. Right, guys. These two projects, these two ready-made projects configurations can be used in our project. Everyone getting my point, guys? Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent is a ready-made project, ready-made Maven project, Maven based Spring Boot project. Place it in Maven repository, Maven central repository. What, guys? Maven central repository. Understanding my statement? Okay. Maven central repository having ability to perform some common operations. Having ability to perform some common operation. Everyone got the clarity, boss? Come on. Super. Yes, boss. Okay, now listen. Listen. If you want to change version of specific starter, you can mention version here. If you want to change version of specific starter, here parent is what 2.6, but this starter I want to get for 2.7 only. This starter I want to get it for 2.7 only. Got it? Okay. Only this starter I want to get a different version. Okay. Now listen. Remaining all are 2.6, guys. But Spring Boot starter JDBC 2.7. But don't do this mistake. This may lead to compatibility issue. This may lead to compatibility issue. Is that clear? Okay. If you want to change, the version of Spring Boot starter. Okay, starter added to the pom.xml. Added to the pom.xml. Then place version tag as shown below. As shown below. Okay, guys. Super, guys. As shown below. But change version by checking compatibility. By checking compatibility. Are you understanding my statement? Okay. This is one thing, guys. Please be active, my dear. See, it's giving error. See, overriding manager 6.0 version. It is giving warning. It is also giving warning, right? Fine, guys. So better to take without version. Now listen one more thing. There's one more thing. Sir, I don't want to change jar main jar file versions, but I want to change child jars version. Everyone getting my point? I don't want to change main jar file version. I would like to change child jar file version. Okay. If you want to change the relevant or child jar files version. If you want to change the relevant or child jar file version, what guys? Take the support of dependency management section. Dependency management tag, guys. Dependency management tag. Everyone getting my point? Okay, now listen. Array, without that also you can become good Spring Boot programmer, but I'm just trying to give more details. Hikari CP, guys. Hikari CP 4.0.3. No, I want to work with 4.0.1 only. I'm not interested with 4.0.3. I'm interested to work with 4.0.1 only. Then what should I do? I should go for dependency management section or not? Yes, guys. Here, dependency over. Yeah, dependencies are over. Okay, now I have to take, guys, dependency manage. After closing dependencies, you have to add a dependency management section, Babu. There you mention the details of child jar. Okay, gather Hikari CP jar, guys. Gather Hikari CP jar. Got it? Yeah, 5.0.1 is the latest, but it is taking 4.0.3 only. You want to work with the latest version? Work with. You want to work with the latest version? Take the latest version. Okay. Under dependency management section, mention the version. Okay. Under dependency management section, dependencies, cut, paste. Yeah, under dependency management, dependencies, then this. Like this, we can get a control on what? Child jars, guys. Check it out. Only Hikari CP jar version will be changed. Only Hikari CP jar version will be changed. 5.0.1 has come now, boss. 5.0.1 has come now, boss. Come on. Okay. Now listen carefully. Listen. What is the version I am using in parent? 2.7. 2.7 I am using. I removed this version here. Yeah. I removed this version here. In dependency management, I wantedly commented this section. Okay, observe this one more time. I'm doing it for you people only. Observe this one more time carefully. Yes, boss. Yeah, tell me what is the default version we are getting, guys? Hikari CP 4.0.3. I hope you are believing my statements and practicals. Now, I don't want 4.0.3. I want something else. Some other version, lower version or upper version. Then we can mention it. This is relevant to jar file. No, sir. Spring version also I want to change. Spring version also I would like to change, Babu. Go back. Okay, Spring version. Spring context support version also I would like to change. By default, it is giving what? 5.3.13. No, I want to work with 5.3.21. I want to work with 5.3.21. Then mention that. Check it out. Earlier, what we got? 5.3.20, right? Context and context support 5.3.20. Okay. Now, Ghana. Where is context support jar, guys? Where is context support jar? Array, that jar is not coming, ra babu. That's why version is not changing. That's why context support jar is not coming. Only context jar is coming. Okay, no problem. Okay, just we add context jar only. We add context jar only. Don't worry. Yeah, only this we are getting 2.1 version na. Remaining all are coming 2.0. Only this is coming 2.1 version. Confusing. Let me take some other version. 13 version. Lower versions also you can take. But take by checking the compatibility. Take it, but take by checking the compatibility. Yeah, what's the point? If you want to change relevant or child jar files version, take the support of dependency management tag. Okay. Okay. In pom.xml. Okay. Place it after the closing dependencies tag. Closing dependencies tag. And I am trying to give depth knowledge how to play with these versions and number of things. Yeah, this is my dependency management tag, guys. Control Shift F. Yes. Right, boss. Dependencies management tag. Sorry, dependency management is having one more dependency stack. Sumit MCA, try to show some basic common sense, ra. Okay. That is different. This is different. We have placed inside dependency. Nora Babu. Look at dependency management tag. This is after closing dependencies tag, na. Inside this dependency management, one more dependencies tag is there. Clear, guys? Okay. Okay. Choose this version by checking the compatibility. Okay. Choose versions by checking the compatibility. Okay, guys. By checking the compatibility. Yeah, specific relevant jar file version, specific dependent jar file version can be changed because we don't add them directly. They come indirectly, but we want to have a control on their version. Then we have to mention information like this. Everyone got it? I think with this we completed first feature, Ra Babu. Did we complete first feature? What is first feature? Controls the versions of other starters, dependents, and related jar file. Everyone understanding my statement? Vidyadhar, either sleep completely or wake up completely. I said choose these versions by checking the compatibility. I given clearly, na. Where is your head, Ramayana? Then he again asked me, sir, does it give any compatibility issues? Then what donkeys you are catching, my dear? Okay. Nitish Oja, if you want to work with the C3P0 Proxul Vibur, happily you go for what? Entire whatever procedure I follow to work with C3 PGD, follow the same procedure. Okay, their jar files you have to add manually in pom.xml. So you have to mention version directly. They are not coming through auto configuration. Understanding my statement? Super boss. Okay. This is the first feature, guys. What's the second feature? Okay. What's the second feature? Snapshot release. Snapshot release. All these are what? Terminologies in the version. Terminologies in the version. Snapshot means still progress is going on. Still modification. Snapshot, current state of that jar is given, but still work is going on. Release means stable content. This jar file contains stable version. Got it? Okay. Yeah. What's the second one? Adding or overriding properties. Adding or overriding properties. Our Spring Boot project. Spring Boot project gets so many common, come on guys, so many common Maven properties from the other Maven projects, Maven parent projects that are there, that is added, and that are there in the hierarchy. That are there in the hierarchy. That are there in the hierarchy. Array, this one, Babu. I am talking about this one. That are there in the hierarchy. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Okay. That are there in hierarchy. See, guys, what is the version? What are the properties here? Java version 18 is taken, right? By default, what? What is the default value in Maven? What is the default value we have seen, guys? Okay. What is there? Spring Boot starter parent, right? Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. Come on. 2.7 latest. If you open its pom.xml, guys, what is the default version? 1.8. But we are able to override with Java 18 or not? Come on, guys. Okay. Right, boss. This is what? Properties section content from the pom.xml of pom.xml file of Spring Boot starter parent. Starter parent. Yeah, don't you think it is that section, guys? Understanding? Java version 1.8 is there. but we are able to change Java 18. We are able to change to Java 18 or not? Okay. Now tell me next one. What is the other one we are having? Spring Boot dependencies. Spring Boot dependencies. There are not there. There. Look at its pom.xml, guys. Look at its pom.x. How many properties are there? So many properties are there or not? Whatever beans participating in auto configuration, their versions are decided here. Their versions are decided here. Why it is giving 4.0.3, guys, Ikari CP? Because it is mentioned here. It is mentioned here, right? Why Spring related that version is coming? Because that is mentioned here. Spring related that is coming. Spring batch version 4.3.6. Spring session version. Everything is mentioned over here or not? Now you understood, guys. Why? Okay, I'll add few things, guys. I will add few things, not everything. I will add few things here. Okay. JUnit HQLDB kind of. The properties tag of properties section of what is this? Spring boot dependencies project contains huge entries, guys. Huge entries deciding the versions of dependent and relevant jar files. Relevant jar file. Okay, as shown below. Are you understanding? Deciding the compatible versions of dependent relevant jar file. Understanding my statement, guys? Relevant jar files. Okay. Like these entries are there. Like these entries are there. Come on. Okay. These entries decides, okay, which version of dependent and relevant jar file should be used for which version of Spring Boot, for which version of should be used for which version of Spring Boot. Understanding my point? Spring Boot 2.7.0 uses Springs 5.3.20 30 jars. Hikari CP. What is that? 4.0.3 jars. Okay, and etc. All these are decided. All these are decided in the properties section of Spring boot dependencies project. Array, enjoying my statements or feeling heavy? If you feel heavy, ignore it. Without this knowledge also, you can become Spring developer. But if you want to make your mark, study this one very carefully. Okay, then you to override these properties values. Okay, values. Use properties section of our Spring Boot section of pom.xml belonging pom.xml of pom.xml in our Spring Boot project. What's the default Java version, guys? 1.8. I don't want to work with 1.8. Then I change it to Java 18 or not? Cool. What is the default? What is the default Ikari CP version, guys? 4.0.3. No, I don't want to work with 4.0.3. Okay, I want to use 4.0.1. 4.0.1. What is the default JUnit version? J. So many. What is the default JUnit version? Is there any place that is mentioned JUnit version? Below is there JUnit version 4.1.13.2, right? No, I want to work with my choice of JUnit version 4.11.2. Let us assume that is there. Click on this one, guys. Okay. Click on this one, guys. Now let's see. Hikari CP, Java version 17, guys. There is no support for 18. That's why it is supporting up to 17. Cool. Okay. Try to perform Maven update. Any change in properties, better to perform Maven update once or not. Perform Maven update, right? Perform Maven update. Go to Maven dependency section. Oh, why 5.0.1 is coming, guys? Because already I mentioned in the dependency management, right? Okay, let's comment this for some time. Let's comment that once for some time. Yeah, 4.0.1 has come now. Look at Ram, my dear. Coming or not coming? Next. JUnit is not coming. Yeah, JUnit is coming. Check it out. Okay, JUnit's platform. Somewhere will be there JUnit. Yeah, maybe that version of JUnit is not there. We have to find out JUnit versions, Babu. We need to find out JUnit version. 4 point something I have taken now. Let it be. I go to Maven repository, guys. mvnrepository.com. Okay, I will take JUnit search. Actually, it is giving JUnit Jupyter API, which is not giving plain JUnit. Okay, fine. We'll take it. 4.1.32 is there. 4.10 is there, right? 4.10 is there. Let's come to our pom.xml. Where is that property section, Babu? Yeah, 4.10 is there. Check it out now. If possible, try to perform Maven update project. Maven dependencies, guys. Okay, now I have to search for where is this JUnit story. JUnit. I think nowadays that JUnit main jar is not coming. Only Jupyter jars are coming. So that's why it is not happening, Babu. That's why it is not happening. Basically, they are giving only Jupyter jars. Are they giving JUnit jars, guys? Somehow they are not giving. They are giving only Jupyter jars. Jupyter version is what? 5.3, 8.2. Here, Jupyter default version is what? 5.8.2. Okay, try to play with this Jupyter version. JUnit Jupyter version, because JUnit jar is not coming nowadays. 5.8.1 I should take. Let me take 5.8.1 and observe whether it is reflecting or not. Reflecting. Come on. Reflecting. I'm not saying you change it, Babu. I'm telling possibility is there. I'm telling possibility is there. It does not mean every time you should do it. Okay. It does not mean you should do it every time. Okay. For previous Spring Boot project version, compatible childs and relevant jars only will come. But if you are still not happy, you can change like this. If you are still not happy, you can change like this. Okay. Sir, in dependency management, one version here, one version is given. Okay. Which one will dominate? Dependency management will work. Okay. If you specify two different versions for relevant comma dependent jar files. Understanding my statement, guys? Relevant comma dependent jar files in properties section and also in dependency management section. Then the dependency management section will work. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay, guys. The dependency management section will work. I hope you enjoyed today's session. One more part is there, Babu, that I will take up in next class. Supplies Maven plugins. Supplies Maven plugins, right? This point I will take this one. Are you able to enjoy my internals? Able to bear my internals? If you feel heavy, leave it. Maven part, you leave it, right? But if you learn, you will get much grip. If you have a little Maven knowledge, you would have enjoyed this session like anything. Can I continue this depthness? Or should I decrease that? Okay then. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll meet tomorrow and we will see more points on this. Why should I add STS plugin to plugin? Premji, the Spring Boot project development becomes easy if you add STS plugin. If you add STS plugin. Yeah, in future we use Gradle also. In future we use Gradle also. Okay. Could you give me Git link? Leela is confirming these questions are asked in the interview. These questions are asked in the interview, right? Okay. Yeah, tomorrow I'll give Git link of our projects, guys. Thank you. Have a nice time. Vishnu, you are not able to open pom.xml or change Eclipse version or STS plugin version.